Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here and for coming together for this topic today. I think what we are about to talk to you about today is something that has really needed to change for a very long time. So before I get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Carrie Drinkwine, and I am deeply, deeply passionate about authenticity and integrity when it comes to this industry. And part of that really stems from the fact that I am a regenerative health practitioner, a clinician, and an owner of an international institute where we train and certify practitioners to repair their bodies naturally. Now, with that said, healing, regeneration, whatever word you want to use, vitality, just sustaining a healthy life takes more than one product, right? We all know that. How many of you use more than one product in your home, use more than one product on your skin, right? So really what I have a deep passion about in this industry is two-part faceted. Is one, integrity and authenticity. And I think that in the industry of network marketing, sometimes this gets lost because people are confined to a single product, and that doesn't allow us to truly serve the individual that's in front of us. And I think that that's a very big problem when it comes to people in the health industry. So that's part of where my passion comes from. And the second part of where my passion comes from is as a practitioner and a mother and all of the things that we are, and everybody that's working full time, we have become so limited with the hours for dollars paradigm of the way that life goes. And what happens when we're in this hours for dollars is we have a cap on our income, right? We have an ability to only make so much money. And this is where we're exactly trading our time for dollars, right? And when we're doing this, it doesn't allow us to exceed a certain income threshold. You know, most people are working for somebody else's dream or working for a salary or an hourly rate. And this really is where the network marketing industry shines, right? Why is network marketing so successful? Because it's a brilliant business model. And it's a brilliant business model that allows us to get outside of that hours for dollars. And the reason I'm so passionate about that is because I was a practitioner working 60, 70, sometimes more than that hours per week, I have to admit. And I didn't have balance. I was teaching health, but I didn't see my family. And my bank account never went past a certain point because you can only charge so much for your time, right? In exchange for your services. And I started to realize I was in a model that was stuck. I was in a model that was old. And it wasn't a model that created expansion, that created wealth in the way that I wanted to see in my world. And to be frankly honest, I had always dreamed of as a little girl. I came from nothing. I didn't have a vibrant and vivacious family life, and that's a blessing in a way. But there was always part of me that knew I was capable of more. And drop a 1 in the comments if there's part of you that's like, I know I'm capable of more. I know I want more. I visualize this. I see it. I feel it in my bones. But we haven't really been able to figure out how to get it. How do we create that? What do we create? Do we create a product? Do we this? Well, this is the genius of network marketing. And the genius of network marketing allows us not to have to reinvent the wheel. It allows us to decide if we integrally align with a product or a service that we can share in this brilliant business model. And it was 5 years ago, actually, just about 5 years ago, not quite yet, that I had joined my first network marketing opportunity, and I was anti-network marketing my entire life. I don't know why. I think we all have this natural resistance to network marketing for no good reason. I really think that's like cellular trauma, right? Energy is shared, and everybody feels that. But where does that come from? Let's open up the conversation. Where does network marketing trauma come from? I personally think it comes from the inauthenticity that comes through when people are approaching you. You are a prospect, not a person, right? And everybody's trying to get you to buy their product. And a lot of people in this industry are coming from this place of survival, and it's felt. right? And so there's been bad names for other reasons, maybe unintegrous companies or poor business models. And there is a lot of complexity in this industry, but there's also a lot of gold. There's a lot of beauty. And when I finally decided to say yes to this opportunity, to a platform like this, it was when my whole world actually opened up. And the only reason I said yes is because I deeply aligned with the product. Like so deeply, I used it in my own body. I used it on my clients. And it was because I finally had decided to put my ego aside as a practitioner, saying, I'll never join an MLM, and say, I have to admit this product is the best of the best. I have never found anything better. So I need to not care about what the platform is. And when I did that, to my very big surprise, because I wasn't even actively trying, just my heart-centered sharing turned into an income that matched. In 5 months' time, I matched my clinic income. I was shocked. It took me 5 years to build my clinic income and my practice to the level that I had been at. And in 5 months' time, I did it with this business model. And I remember sitting back and thinking like, whoa, this is something I need to pay attention to. And it was something I so wasn't paying attention to that my husband would say, like, Carrie, you need to open the mail. Like, there's a check for like a pretty large amount here, because I hadn't even set up direct deposit. I was getting like checks in the mail. And it was actually when this deeply, deeply sunk in with me is when I was in Hawaii and the pandemic dropped, as we know it in the world. And I had a 1-year-old on my hip, and I was very pregnant with her brother on the way. And the world shut down as we know it. My clinic was shut down, this place that I'm sitting now, and I was deemed non-essential. And all of my income was gone in a blink. And it was in that moment that I realized I had to take this thing that I was treating as a nice cushion and go full throttle with it, that I had no other options because I was about to have a baby and no income. And when I did that, my world exploded. Like, I delivered my son, and on maternity leave that month, I ended up bringing in 4 times what my husband did. And he worked 160 hours that month while I was in bed recovering and snuggling my baby. That is the power of this industry, right? That is why network marketing is amazing. So we want to talk about the amazing things like leveraged income. You know, you get paid for generations on the work that you do. I love to give this example of, you know, people that work for corporate America. You know, I have friends, even my husband worked for corporate America for a decade. And what happened was, after, you know, so many years, you get a 1 to a maximum 3% raise per year. And every year you have a certain amount of paid vacation, and you very slowly climb, but you never really climb the ladder. You're just slowly creeping up inches and getting a little bit as we have inflation in society. So it's really kind of a moot point. Like, you're not really getting a raise at all. But the projects that you work on can make your company millions if you're in the corporate industry, and you will only be paid on a fraction. You will just be paid your hourly or your salary, and you won't be paid on the generations of wealth you created for that industry or for that company. And so to me, when people think about network marketing, they think about, oh, it's a pyramid. I actually think corporate America is the biggest pyramid that was ever created. Corporate America, if you think about the triangle, the CEO is at the top, right? Do you know the CEO? Usually you don't, unless you're in a smaller company. So we have CEO, we have upper level management, we have mid-level management, and then we have entry-level workers. And you slowly try to climb this triangle, but you'll never become the CEO. And what I love about network marketing and this industry is that no matter when you come in, you have the opportunity to climb above and beyond the person that brought you in, because this is your business and you get to bring it to the level that you want and that you desire. So with that said, I wanted to share, you know, just a couple of slides with you today, and just really talking about what is this industry, what is the gold in this industry and the most important parts. And then we have a very, very special guest with us today. And so we titled this talk today on breaking the network marketing industry for good. And what I mean about breaking, I really mean like breaking the old paradigm, the old way. And what we are here to represent and to do today and moving forward is to really remold this industry with the best parts of it intact, and then adding what needed to be changed. And we're going to hear from a visionary in a moment. So as we kind of get into understanding this industry, is what needs to be broken. Let's talk a little bit about this. Is what needs to be broken in the network marketing industry is this concept of you are tied to one modality, right? So every network marketing company, we advertise, this is freedom, the freedom lifestyle, the health sovereignty, build multiple streams of income. We teach people this. This is kind of what the industry markets on. Create passive income and build residual wealth. Well, these are amazing things, right? This is what brings people in. And then they get into a company specifically and realize that this isn't actually the truth. This isn't actually what is being represented, because you become owned by a brand. You become unable to promote or share any other health-aligned modalities. And I am speaking from personal experience in this industry, that I mentioned that beautiful story to you that 5 years ago, I joined my first network marketing opportunity, and it's what opened my whole world. It's what saved us financially. It's actually what gave me enough wealth to open my institute. So it has done so much for my life. But as I was teaching my students and I was teaching multiple products and saying, this works for this, and this works for this, and this works for this, I ran into some serious turbulence in my network marketing companies. They wanted to terminate my accounts, and some of them did. And just all of the work that I had done for years was gone overnight. Everything, every penny, every team member, everything I had ever done building for 3+ years was in a blink, it was gone. Everything I did was completely, I went to go log in one day and it was frozen. And it was because I had climbed the ladder in another market, even though I was still currently promoting that market as well. I was using both in tandem. And that was not allowed to build in tandem. And this is part of why this isn't true. We can't say build multiple streams of income, but we really mean one stream of income, right? We need to be free and sovereign beings to share what we feel is appropriate in our lives. And especially in positions for people that, are passionate about clean house products, and then they're also passionate about nutrition. They might also be passionate about water, right? These are all things that support life. So to me, none of this represents abundance, freedom, financial sovereignty, multiple streams of income, or encourages authenticity. So this is really part of the old world, rooted in lack and scarcity and control. And in this industry, we tend to see people get in fear if somebody goes and does something else. Well, to me, that's just not sovereignty, because people are going to grow where they feel aligned. And allowing freedom and expansion is actually going to create more freedom and more expansion. It's an energetic exchange, right? And so I really just sat in my heart and I was like, wow, this industry has so much goodness, but there's also so much darkness, and there's so much like small thinking, like, oh, I can't have, my best teammate is aligning with a new product and I've got to try to control that. Like, no, you don't. Let them grow. Show them your support, because they're more likely to stay. They're more likely to continue to grow. So with this thought in mind, I really thought, like, gosh, if they could just get rid of these crazy clauses, you could I think the network marketing industry would just explode. It would be the thing people do. They wouldn't go to college, right? They wouldn't go to college and rack up. I just looked this up because I just taught a presentation on this. The average individual spends $50,000 to $100,000 on their college education, and they receive on average $80,000 to $86,000 a year, and it takes them 20 to 30 years to pay off their debt. How is that life? How is that freedom? How is that vitality? This is what we're teaching people. We're teaching people to enter, into a system of slavery, in my opinion. It's a system where you become enslaved to your debt and you work for someone else's dream. You grow up, you hope to get a good job, and you work for someone else's dream. While that little part of you, when I opened this call and asked you, how many of you know you're made for more? How many of you, drop a 2 in the comments if you have worked for someone else's dream for a long time, right? To pay the bills, to get by. And it happens to us because how else, we don't know another way. Well, I'm here to present to you something amazing. Today, we are here to show you how we are building a conscious billion-dollar company that is remodeling the network marketing industry for good. And not only are we rebuilding and remodeling this industry, we are a conscious billion-dollar company that's helping you achieve your million-dollar lifestyle. So without further ado, I would like to present to you the visionary of how we are creating communities across the entire globe that are aligning with our product, our mission, our energy, and our vision for the world. And I'm about to bring to you the visionary that's behind it all. And I'm so excited to present to you Taryn Lee, who is our business visionary and CEO of our company, Lumi Vitae, which means light of life. So without further ado, Taryn, I'm going to pass the stage to you just to introduce yourself really quick. And we're going to just do like an interview style today. So Taryn and I are going to go back and forth and we're going to interview each other and just really talk about what our vision and our mission here is within Lumi Vitae.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much, Carrie. And doesn't Carrie do such a beautiful job at really explaining why network marketing is so incredible? She's so beautifully articulate with how she presents that. And so I know you'll be learning a lot from this space. Where do I even start? Well, I guess I'll start with my journey. It was probably just over a decade ago where I was introduced to this industry. I was once part, I guess, of the corporate ladder, climbing that corporate ladder, and ended up finding myself in a room full of other people learning about an opportunity, but having no idea what these people were really even talking about. What I did know, though, is that the woman that was standing at the very front of the stage, who was at the time maybe 23, 24 years old, was living the life that I thought was only possible if you were born into wealth. She was, traveling around the world. She was earning over $1 million a year. She was a 7-figure income earner. She was so young, and I just couldn't believe that she was able to create this. And then when she said, you know what, I came from nothing. And I thought, this was not a woman that was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. This was a woman that went to university. She did all the things that she was meant to do, but she found another path. And so for me, that was about 10 years ago when I discovered this industry. And probably like many of you, I had, when I very first entered this room, thinking, what is this? Is this a scam? Is this all of these negative connotations that we initially have sometimes when we're introduced to this? But the more I started to dive into this space, the more I was like, hang on, this is everything that I've ever dreamed to be a part of. I have time, I have money coming in, I am learning, I am upgrading, I've got a community around me, I have people that are genuinely supporting my path to success. I was in a corporate environment where there was only 1 or 2 jobs at the top, and everybody was going after those 1 or 2 jobs at the top. What I had quickly realized inside of this industry, there is plenty of room at the top. It just depends whether you want that space yourself. And so I really fell in love with network marketing. And I ended up dedicating, like, basically I did the crazy thing that probably you shouldn't necessarily do, but I left my corporate job and I just dived straight into this industry and, wanted to learn everything about it. I did learn everything about it, and I became pretty successful pretty quickly within the industry. But just like Carrie has been, explaining, there were a couple of times, I will say, where I couldn't understand why this industry was sprouting all about freedom, but not truly giving people the freedom. Now, I will tell you, my highest value is freedom. I really want freedom for everyone on the planet. I really want freedom in your own bodies, in your own bank accounts, in your own communities, in your way to express yourself. That really is my highest value. And that's, I guess, why I was so attracted to this industry, because a lot of it talks about freedom of lifestyle. But the thing that I found really frustrating is I was like, hang on, we're meant to be free, but yet I'm kind of still trapped to this company. Like, if I make a move over here, this asset that I have poured all my love, my time, my energy, my network, my brand, everything into, could be taken away from me like that. And that wasn't okay with me. That's the bit that I just couldn't get on board with. That's the bit I couldn't understand, why we weren't collaborating more together. And I guess, maybe it was a little bit before, my time in terms of not understanding this. And I know now, as we're entering into a new age, into a new way of doing business, into a new paradigm of doing business, this, for me, co-creation and collaboration is the new way of doing any business, but particularly inside of network marketing. So this is where, for me, I believe we should be, as an industry, joining together, co-creating together. This is all, the freedom that we all want is the same thing we all want. It didn't make sense to me that I wasn't able to share this, or I wasn't able to talk about that, or I wasn't actually, not even about a network marketing company. Sometimes some of the people that were coming into my communities, they were being reprimanded if they were sharing their skill in how you brand, or they were sharing some of their other health practitioner skills. Again, it just didn't feel good to me. That didn't feel like the abundance model. That didn't feel like a new way of creating, a new way of doing business. And so, and I'm going to tell you that probably in the 3 companies that I've really been inside of the network marketing industry, this was something that I was an irritant, I would say, inside of that company, trying to change, trying to get corporate to see that I'm trying to change this, or that, let's look at this from a modern perspective. Let's look at this in a new way. Let's look at this as an industry supporting each other. And I was always hit with, it's just not possible, Taryn. It's not possible. You're asking us to do something that simply isn't possible. And so I thought, okay, well, if it's really not possible inside of here, I'll create my own company then. And I'll make it possible. I'll show people how it is possible. I'll show people how collaboration and co-creation is possible. We'll show people how to create a new way in doing business. And so that's ultimately how Lumavite, which you'll learn more about tonight, was created, was formed, was this desire to truly create freedom. And for those of you that know the bigger story of Lumavite, you'll know that we are so incredibly blessed to be able to have also this incredible genius behind us as well. When we met, when myself and Nuno Nina finally met, and I always get his name wrong for some crazy reason, when myself and Nuno Nina finally met, when I really tapped him on the shoulder, there was this crazy energetic connection, almost like the stars went, woo, realizing both of us loved freedom. He was really trying to create freedom within a new paradigm of freedom of science, freedom within the body. Actually, let me tell you a story. The reason he created what he has created in his life is because his little boy wasn't free to express himself. He has autism. And Nuno wanted to find a way, how do I free my little boy, and how do I help him be able to express himself? And so that's really what created his journey, his story. I guess that was 25, 30 years ago when he started that. And for me, myself, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, far from it. I was born in poverty. I was born in a family of a lot of women. And so I'm very passionate around women, but a family of women that I'm going to tell you probably compromised themselves in ways that break my heart that they did, because they were in financial positions that they should never have been in. Or they were doing things because they were trying to help their family in a way that, again, it breaks my heart that they had to put themselves inside of that. And so here we both came and we were like, we truly want freedom. That really is, if I chunk right up, that is the mission of our company. How do we really create this new world with new freedom in a new way, collaborating together? And so you'll see even part of our vision and our mission is also about creating this bigger company that enables us to actually share the abundance that we're all here co-creating as well. So that's a little bit about how we got here.
Amazing. Love it. So I'm so excited to be with you in this platform, because this is, I mean, Taryn's speaking my language in every way. We both we're not born with a silver spoon. We both came from nothing. And to this day, I am the only one with wealth in my family. And it's thanks to this industry, actually. This industry is what built my wealth. It's what built my institute, which then built another stream of income, right? We teach multiple streams of income. So many of you are so gifted. You're artists, you're, creators, inventors, whatever you are. But what do you need in order to be able to really dive into your passion? You need funds, right? You need the funds. Money is, I always say, wealth in the right hands of the right people is what is going to change the world. And money only makes you more of who you already are. Right? So people that think money is evil, no, well, maybe if you are evil, it might make you more evil. But I truly believe in my bones that a world that we can live in, could you imagine just for a moment living in a world where everyone is financially sovereign, where they just feel solid on their own 2 feet. They're not operating from scarcity, lack, survival mode. And also imagine a world where everybody's has health sovereignty, like they actually know how to moderate their own wellness. Like those 2 things alone, I think, are our biggest stressors in the world. I think our biggest stressors is our health and our wealth. And it's the 2 missing links that we aren't giving people. We are taking that power from people. We're telling people that illness is normal. It is not. And we are telling people that wealth is for a few, but it is for all. And it is possible for all in this model. And so, kind of like Taryn, we actually both met Nuno at different times through the same company at different events. And we both had this moment of like, there was a synergistic click of business, right? It was like, okay, I couldn't actually figure out why I had gone to this event. I wasn't going to go. I had no desire to go. I was very busy, and I went, and I was told, I went at 3:30 in the morning, 30 hours before the event. I was told I needed to go to meet somebody. And that is where I met Nuno. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are supposed to get Lumi Vitae out into the world. And so it made it so clear to me what we're doing. So Taryn, what I want to ask you is, so a lot of people don't know who we are. So Lumi Vitae means light of life. And we are the newest that I know of network marketing industry in the world right now. And we are really, as you've heard our hearts, on a mission to create true equality, freedom, and wealth for everyone, not just for a few. We want to see everyone winning in this space. And really our foundation of what we're doing is thanks to Nuno Nina, this one man that brought his genius. So I'll give you just a small recap. Nuno has been a clinician for years in Portugal, and has, at one point, I think he owned 70-some clinics, and he's seen over 70,000 patients. And he was, working with something called molecular hydrogen. This beautiful vessel that you see here is one of our main products. And was his approach for every single patient, was molecular hydrogen, as well as frequency, and started seeing the wellness. But he kept his genius to himself. And when Taryn met him and started working with him, she had the same, I'll let you kind of share, but the same thought that I had when I went to the clinic was, why doesn't the world know about all of this stuff that's in your cabinets in like this room? He has this machine that it's the only one in the world because he invented it. This is the level of genius that Nuno is. And so Taryn, being the visionary, is really, I'll let you share what sparked in you when you saw all of his creations and his genius and what he had to really turn into what we're all here learning about today.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I would say that, yes, health we need, obviously, and wellness. Yes, we need money. But I think there's a third ingredient as well, and I think that's community and connection. And so that's also part of our mission here as well, is creating that. I believe in the center of that is love, right? And so I think really that's what we're really here to co-create together as a community together to bring this forward into the new world. When I met Nuno, I mean, wow, it was again, it was kind of one of these like boom, you know, moments that happened. I literally tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, hey, my name is Taryn Lee, and he knew who I was, but we hadn't really had much of a personal connection to that point. And then he was like, oh, by the way, Nuno has some special gifts. You should probably know that. And he was like, you're the one. And I didn't really know what he meant at that time. I was like, yeah, the one that lives in Lisbon too. And so we ended up meeting and connecting, and I came to his clinic. And that was really profound in itself. Like, that was really amazing. I remember walking through the door, and again, Nuno has some special gifts that I will tell you about in a moment. He said to me, oh, Taryn, you've got pain here, you've got pain here, something's happened here. And I was thinking to myself when I walked into his clinic, how the heck do you know? Did I walk through like an X-ray machine or something? How do you know that I've got these old injuries there? And I was, you know, quite taken back. I soon learned that this man has the ability to see things that other people can't see. He can see the frequency in your body. But of course, that then led me to be toured around his clinic. And as I did, I was like, I don't understand why the rest of the world doesn't know what you do. I don't understand why the rest of the world doesn't understand about hydrogen, because I was then starting to learn also about hydrogen. But how you've been able to do things inside of this clinic, by the way, I should tell you, my background's in medicine, how you've been able to do things in this clinic that I've never been able to see medicine do. And how you're curing people in ways I've never seen other people be able to do. And all of a sudden I was like, you need to be shared with the world. You need these gifts that you have, this special gift that you have to be able to see things in a completely different way. It needs to be shared with the world. And that's where, I guess, you know, then all of a sudden we started to rift a bit, if you like, and we were like, imagine a world that would have this, and imagine that would have this. And I was like, imagine if they have your product, imagine if we could create this. And that's really ultimately how Luma Vitae really became born.
Beautiful. And I remember when I asked that question to Nuno, he just kind of smiled because you guys had been previously working. He said, we're working on it and you're going to be part of it. And I was like, okay. So here we all are being called into this mission of really sharing this new paradigm. And what I love, Taryn, is that you could have said, okay, we're going to birth the most advanced molecular hydrogen into the world. And let me tell you, it is. We're not going to go into the science today, but I have scientific videos explaining the components of this incredible vessel that Nuno has created and invented. Like, every last part of this bottle has been invented by him, even down to how it fits in your hand. And this is one of our many products that are coming. We are essentially creating a hydrogen revolution together. And what I love, though, Taryn, is that you could have, you know, said, okay, I'm the CEO of this new company and I'm going to set it up exactly like X, right? Like, okay, I'm worried that when people come here, we don't want them to go to other companies. So we're going to set up a non-compete. We're going to set up this. Like, really, what you're doing is quite brave. I mean, to be honest, like, if you think about, where do these policies come from? These policies come from being fearful that you're going to lose too much of your company. So example, somebody builds a huge empire, they go to a new company, they take the whole thing with them, right? That can happen. I'm telling you, it's still happening. But what's happening is when people feel controlled, they feel contracted, right? And we are not as expansive as individuals. So tell me, as a CEO, looking at our comp plan, because it is in your best interest that our company thrives, how you can be so brave to say, we're setting the precedence for a new future, no non-compete, and the comp plan that we have, which you're going to get into in a bit here. So let's talk about your bravery and your boldness, Taryn.
I believe that there is a new way. I believe that there is a better way. It's just that confidence in knowing that we are evolving and that, you know, I do believe that there is limitless abundance available to us. I really don't believe in the old scarcity model. And so, you know, in creating this company, how could I put a non-compete inside of our company when it's the very thing I was fighting for in every other company I've ever been inside of? I mean, it's one of the reasons I took the leap of faith to even come and create this company. I guess the other thing that I've always really felt is that, cool, if you want to, you know, in fact, right, sitting on my desk here right now are many other companies' products, because they're great, right? They're great, so I love to use them. So number one, how can I, if I just don't want to, you know, if I want to share something with other people, what's really the big deal about that? The second part though, and probably actually the primary part of this, I really believe that if you are offering the best products in the world, truly creating a revolution, building an incredible community, building amazing platforms, the best products, if you're going to have a truly abundant compensation plan, if you're going to put in incredible, you know, events, if you're going to empower people, if you're going to make people feel like they belong to a family, if you're going to instill in them that we are part of a bigger vision and mission that we are co-creating on the planet, why do they want to leave, right? If they want to share a few other things and create other streams of income and create other abundance, cool. If that's going to help you, support you, that's going to help support your family. But I'm here to create the most beautiful, amazing company that we've ever seen. So I don't have scarcity around it. I don't have fear around it. I know what we're creating here. I know that we are going to change the world. I know that we are magnetizing some of the most incredible people to our community that I have ever seen. Why would I be scared? I'm not scared. I'm not scared. And so that is ultimately why.
Perfectly answered. And I think when we talk about energy and frequency, like if you look at the frequency of control and fear, they're the lowest vibrations in human consciousness, and they're also the lowest vibrations on the planet. And energy is exchanged, right? So if you're operating from this very low vibration, how are you going to get all the way up here? It's impossible. So I literally believe that the reason, and I want to talk about next about how Lumi Vitae is exploding in such an amazing way in such a weird and short period of time, you know, is I think because of the energy behind it. Not only that there's something very special about this, it sounds a little crazy, but I was just sharing with Taryn on a call before this. I don't even know that Nuno knows what he's created. Like, I really think this is liquid light. It's, you know, it's doing something inside of our bodies. People are saying, I don't understand, but I'm dreaming again. I'm hopeful. I feel good. And the testimonials are crazy. Like, I think we're awakening consciousness, but also the energy behind our business is rooted in freedom. It's rooted in abundance, and it's rooted in authenticity. And I don't know if you know this, but authenticity is the highest vibration in the world. And so I think that is why we're a freight train that can't be stopped. And a little story that maybe a lot of you don't know is we had a couple surprises from another network marketing industry that, you know, did these exact things that kind of cut off a lot of our incomes. And we were forced to propel our project forward quite quickly. And so essentially overnight, Taryn went from we're building an idea that's going to be out in a year to we're building a company in 6 months and we're doing calls now. And so Taryn, I want you to talk about some of the stats of what was it? September, I was in Lisbon with you. We sat around the table together as visionaries launching this company, and we just went. And before we knew it, we had thousands of people joining us with a product that wasn't even on the market yet. So Taryn, take us away in what you see and feel.
And I think like that was so powerful, because really also at the core of this is this vision to truly co-create. And so we did have these amazing leaders, these other amazing people that came, you know, to Lisbon, and we were like, okay, you know, we've got a couple of incredible elements here. Probably one part of the element you may not fully realize. I know we're building $1 billion company, right? I know that. I don't know if we'll go into that tonight, but I know that we are. And so I sat with these incredible leaders and I was like, look, what if we were to create the most beautiful, the most limitless, the most abundant, the most incredible community? What would that look like for you guys? And so we sat around, kind of deciding that. And then it was like, right, let's just get into action. And I mean, we just, boom, got right into action. We started creating, we started doing things well before, honestly, we were even ready to get going. But we started, and because I knew like, it's okay. We'll course correct along the way. We're still human. We're not always going to be perfect. We'll course correct, but I know what we're doing. I know the heart of it. I know the vision of it. And so I have faith that what we're doing and what we're building. And it's funny, I was telling Carrie on a previous call, I was like, I was listening to another podcast about another unicorn company that is on track to create $1 billion. And in it, it had said, how did you know that you were going to be a unicorn? How did you know that? And the company had said, well, we knew because we had X, Y, and Z. And actually, the main thing that showed us was that we were able to do $1 million worth of sales with this relatively new product in just over a year. And so we could see the trajectory that we're on and whatnot. And I was like, this is really quite phenomenal, because we did 1.4 million in just a few months without a product, right? And so, I was like really blown away when I was like listening to the journey of this other company and realizing, do you understand like how hard it is to make that first million? And we did it in a matter of a couple of months. And like where that trajectory is going is phenomenal. And so, yeah, we got going and made magic. I mean, it's become a freight train. It really has become this incredible freight train.
It's truly amazing. And so this just goes to show you the energy behind everything matters. So if we have, people that are feeling free, feeling inspired and expansive, that's just what we're going to create in our industry. And so today, Taryn and I are really welcome you to really take a closer look at what we're up to. If you're not already part of our field, we are building a legacy here in what we're calling a molecular hydrogen revolution. But there is more coming. And Taryn, I'll let you kind of maybe give some sneak peeks that you feel comfortable giving as to what to expect of what's coming from Lumivitae down the line. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. I really also believe that, there is an element of variety that people enjoy to have within a company, right? And so we've obviously launched with our incredible Lumivitae liquid light bottle, which has hydrogen and frequencies and, some other amazing things with it. We certainly have some phenomenal products. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but we do have some phenomenal products that are coming out this year. We have the launch of probably another 3 other products that will be coming out in 2024. I'm unbelievably excited about it, but we can't share it just yet. But we do, in 2025 as well, have the launch of another 4 major big products too. And let me just tell you that I know that everyone has different levels of comfort in creating your own company. Some people like building with high ticket items. Some people like building with lower ticket items. I wanted you to have the freedom to choose inside of our business. So within our incredible, I believe that we are the next evolution of tech and health and wellness. Inside of that, you will have whatever variety feels comfortable for you. You may end up loving to share all of them, or you may be like, no, I really like this space, or I really like this space. So I wanted to create your own freedom to create whatever it is that is most, passionate to you and most comfortable for you to be able to share as well. So hence we have this sort of flexibility that's inside of the product range that we're coming. They're all revolutionary products, right? They're all incredible revolutionary products that I will say push the edges of science. That is what Nuno does. So, you know, he's like, yeah, I see that's the sides, but I can see beyond even that. And so he really does push against those edges. So I do believe that we are the next evolution of tech and wellness in the industry.
Exactly. That's I think the biggest thing to take from this call is, I will say, the authenticity and the integrity that is behind this product. The model of most companies, they hear of something in the industry, they hear of a product, and they find a distributor to make it for them. And here's part of what makes us so unique. Nuno made this. Every part of it. He designed every part of it. He didn't offload it to some random company to make it as quickly and cheaply as possible. And that is why our product stands the test of time. This is the most advanced molecular hydrogen device that I know of on the planet right now. But because of the way that every last part of it is so meticulously designed, there is a magnet that is literally mimicking the frequency and the vibration of the earth in the base, bringing in that vital life force energy of the earth. They have frequencies in the lid that are mimicking the frequencies of the sun to, in theory, inform the water. And then inside of here, we have the safest molecular hydrogen being produced because we produced our own PEM membrane. The proton exchange membrane is so advanced and so strong that it literally creates its own essentially dual chamber where there is no byproducts from the process of electrolysis making it into the water except for the hydrogen because of the way that the membrane is structured. In addition to that, I would say the last thing is our electrodes are coated with titanium and platinum. And so every part of this bottle has been so meticulously designed. And the one thing I've had the honor and the privilege to kind of be on the inside, be in the clinic and be hearing this, is what I hear is not somebody that cares about making money. It's been so interesting to hear Nuno say, no, we can't do that because it'll compromise this. Or we can't do that because it'll compromise the integrity of this. And he truly pours his whole heart into producing the best product that could possibly be. So that's what you can expect from us with every single product that comes down the line. We aren't going to just throw out some cheap hydrogen capsules that don't work, right? That's not what we do, and that's not who we are. And Nuno, like Taryn has said, can see frequency. He has built multiple frequency devices, and this is his gift. So he is, what we are as a company is essentially emerging science, right? We are what's in the future. And so with that, we are going to be able to stand the test of time. So
there's something I want to speak to on that. We own all aspects of our company, meaning we own the factories, we own the warehouses, we own all of it. We haven't outsourced it to anyone. And so that allows us to truly make sure that every single part of it is like the highest quality that we can make it. And even when we brought out the bottles, you know, they're brand new bottles. And there was a couple of little things like from our transport systems, because we own every step of the way, we can change that like this. It doesn't take like a few months or a year or so to make changes to whatever we need to do. We can actually, take a step of every part of quality control and act on it immediately because we're not using any kind of third parties. I don't know if that means anything to anyone for how big this is, because we've put a lot of investment into having, you know, these parts of the company. So we truly own all aspects of it, so that we also have the capacity to grow where we know we need to grow as well.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part of it. Actually, you know, Nuno and Taryn came together and we needed a large amount of money to have a larger factory in order to produce at the speed. I don't know if you are sitting in this audience today, you've recently ordered a bottle, but if you have, within like a day or two, you're already getting your shipping. And this is how efficient they have become, because they decided to not get a business investor, because then what happens? Your trade secrets go, and maybe the integrity goes, and there's somebody else that has control in the project as well. And so they figured out a way within our comp plan to like, let's go now, let's launch now, and we can generate the sales to pay for this. And that's essentially what you guys have done, which is so incredible to see that we have our own factory and that we control every step of the process. And it's all been done by our voices and by us sharing. So I think without further ado, we invite you to really check out Lumivite, whoever brought you to this call or invited you to this space, to reconnect with them specifically and learn how to join our community. We are an expansive community that are on a mission to really create a revolution in the industry in a beautiful and loving way, and to create a revolution in wellness, and to create an awareness around your sovereignty. And with that, we are building communities around the globe. And we are about this year to be on tour in various areas around the globe. So do keep your eyes out for us, because we are emerging and we are just so excited to have you here. Taryn, did you want to mention anything on the comp plan at all?
Yeah, I guess the main thing I really wanted to mention on that was, I think somebody mentioned in here, everything's a triangle, right? But everything is a version of a triangle. So you can have a very vertical triangle. You can have a very flat triangle, right, in terms of your business. When I created this, you know, I will tell you, I've created lots of income inside of this industry. And it's nice and it's fun and it's wonderful. It's not that fun when you're by yourself, though. So it's awesome to be able to have this abundance, but it's so much more awesome to be able to share it. And I would say one of the core parts of our compensation plan is that why I constantly harp on that this is a co-creation and a collaboration is because we are actually all in this together, including the profits that we get to share. So we could have we could have done many other ways, which I would say many other companies do. In fact, almost every other company I know does. But my choice was I wanted to share this with those of us that are actually literally giving us the greatest gift that you could possibly give us, which is your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your loyalty, all of that. And that should be rewarded in our company profits. So one of the reasons why we have such an abundant compensation plan, especially as you start to grow that out, is because I'm able to give back and share the company profits, and not just the company profits from our network marketing company, but the company profits from everything we create, from everything that we are creating. And I can tell you there's some amazing things that we are creating. And I just wanted to make sure that that abundance truly is shared, truly is spread, truly is, as much as we can make it, a fat triangle versus a nice vertical triangle. Because I get, yeah, you know, I know for those of you that might already have created lots of abundance, I'm sure, Kerry, you feel the same. It's awesome to have it. It's way, way, way more awesome when all of you have it. It's way more awesome to go together on this journey. It's way more awesome to share it. And so that's really a core part of our comp plan, is that we have really this core sharing of our total company profits for everything that we're creating here.
It's truly amazing. What I see that we are as a company, and what I've always valued, is I'm not a follow me girl. I'm a come with me girl. Like, and that's what we're presenting to you today as a company, is come with us. Let's build this together. Let's build your $1 million lifestyle while we create this conscious $1 billion company. And let's start sharing this sovereignty across the globe. So thank you so much, Taryn. It's been lovely to have you on. Please get back to the person that invited you here. They will get you in with your amazing molecular hydrogen bottle. We have graphite and we have gold. And obviously all the things that are coming down the pipeline. Yes, I have a box right here with 5 Lumivite bottles. So they are coming quickly. You can get your molecular hydrogen water in your body as soon as possible. And if you want to learn more about the science behind our molecular hydrogen, again, reach out to the person that brought you here, and they can share a video resource for you so you actually know the science. But this call was specifically intended to show you how we are changing and remolding the industry for good. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you.